Within that group, 5 of the 7 men would tragically perish, with the victims being named as Kevin Legana, Giuseppe Sorvillo, Giuseppe Lombardo, Giuseppe Aversa, and Michael Zanera, who was pronounced dead at the scene, passing away on the very tracks that just one day prior had yielded what he and many others believed to be a sign from God. The cause of this tragedy is still currently under investigation.
Hold on. She's dead.
Well, I think it's time for us to leave the poor girl alone.
Bill. Morning, Joe. Nice looking corn.
Hey, Sharon, Randy, great harvest, huh?
An incredible harvest. Some of the best corn I've seen in years. She's the
Hey, check it out!
singer, and the young girl has really taken the country by storm. Hannah Montana's Miley Cyrus, though only 15 years old, is already on her way to being a major superstar. Looks like next harvest will be even better.
Rangers! Ponte ponemos! Rangers ponemos! Rangers! Come vem, Second Reyes, come vem!
It's Britney, bitch.
Myself time.
Friendly faces everywhere, humble folks without temptation.
Going down south, I don't leave my woes behind.
And we're burning day or night, people spouting howdy neighbor.
And on up south, I'm gonna see if I can't unwind. Come on down south, I can meet some friends of mine.
Okay, kids, we have something very serious we need to discuss today, okay? It appears that some kids in school are getting high by choking themselves. Some kids call it the choking game, okay? But choking yourself is bad, okay? Don't do that, okay?
You can get high from choking yourself?
School children are often experimenting with dangerous ways to get high, okay, like sniffing glue, guzzling cough medicine, huffing paint, okay? But they're all bad, okay?
My cousins in Florida who said kids in their school get high off a cat pee.
Cat pee? That's not true. You can't get high of a cat urine, can you?
Well, it's not actually cat urine, but male cats, when they're marking their territory, spray a concentrated urine to fend off other male cats, and
Kids in their
that
school
could
get
get you really
high off a
high.
cat pee.
Really high. Probably shouldn't have told you that just now. Okay, that was probably bad.
Alright, just to keep my cat in place while he sprays the urine. Yes, poor Mr. Kitty, are you just so upset right now?
You guys are wasting your time.
Yes, it's not gonna work. Okay, you ready, Kitty? Alright, bring out the other male cat.
Whoa!
Do you feel anything? Well, Kitty, are you buzzed?
Alright. Here we go. Is this okay? Am I in trouble for this? I don't even know. This is good content. Wait, can I show South Park? Good question. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Would be pretty legendary though. Alright, well, when someone wants to come in here and tell me what's going on, I will.
Girl dates a selection of guys based on their bedrooms. Kind of like room raiders back in the day. She goes in there, examines their bedrooms, and then picks a guy based on that. Well, guess what? Looks like the turns of tables. It's the guy's turn to infiltrate the ladies' rooms. Not the same guy. Different cast entirely, but I'm saying they flipped the video on its head. It's up to us to watch it as the audience. Are you up for the task? Let's find out.
I'm thinking the friends are super pretty. I'm really liking this one.
He's already hitting on my friend.
That's such a red
It's already
flag.
hitting on my roommate's red flag.
I decided to go with the black light to see if this place is really revealing anything. Dude, on the dinosaur's crazy. What?
Wait, this guy was in the last one. He was! That's him, right? He was the DJ, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, so I think this is the same guy. I think he might have changed his hair. He made it more of a broccoli haircut. I believe it's the same guy. I like this sort of, you know, Bravo type.
Oh my god.
Hello YouTube. How you doing today, everybody? Listen, I'm gonna do a video
These are always
on
good.
how to make pickled Pepsi at home.
8 days ago?
That's what I'm gonna title it.
918,000
I've seen a video about KFC making pickled
That's
Pepsi,
insane.
and the guy that was reviewing it, it was crazy. 2 pickles, little bit of Pepsi, which I'm going to show you how to do it at home for cheap. And the guy paid $3.99, almost
That's
$4 for it. What the hell?
What the
You could go home and make it for free. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. I got my Pepsi, got my glass.
How'd you get free Pepsi?
I got my pickle jars with pickles.
How'd you get free pickles?
What I'm going to do first is, I'm going to put the pickles in the jar first. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Here's one.
Let's turn off the
Cooperate with me today.
See some while it's glowing.
There's 2.
Okay.
Down. Put the lid on the thing. This is very easy and cheap. I don't know what the hell KFC was ever thinking of. Like, what the heck, man? $4 for a thing that you could just make at home. See? 2 pickles in a pickle jar. See? Cheap and easy. What the hell, man?
What the hell, man?
And Pepsi.
Sorry, was she implying that people were...
Oh, yes, I forgot one thing. Pickle brine. Right. There you go. A little bit of that.
That was a lot.
See? This one's pickle brine with pickles in it. Same thing. I'm not going to do the hot sauce thing today because it might mix it up. Stomach ain't feeling right. And I'm pouring in Pepsi. Like they said. I don't have ice. I never use ice. So yeah. There we go. Cheap and easy.
I love how people have their specific
Now, obviously,
things.
the guy said on the video, oh, it tastes awful. Well, just wait. We're going to give that theory a theory.
Okay.
And you got that right. I'm going to taste it. You know what? The guy was wrong. It tastes very darn good.
Oh.
It does. I mean, I like it. I mean, the taste is so sweet.
Did 1 million views.
Buttery.
15.
Because I'm using butter pickles. Yeah, it's very good. I like it. But I would not spend $3.99 for a thing at KFC. Nah. They probably use old pickles and old brine.
KFC.
Whatever, I'm using some stuff anyways. So, you know, this is pretty good.
Oh shit.
Another wizardry drink.
But I actually want to try this now.
Wow. Now I'm going to eat the pickles.
This guy knows how to make a viral video.
Yep, very good.
Unironically, a cute little guy.
So if you don't want to spend $4.99, I mean $3.99, don't go to KFC and don't buy the pickle.
Thanks. Is that the same guy? No, that's weird videos now. I could.
What's up, y'all? Know it's your boy Shot City, man. Yeah, now a lot of y'all
You know what I'm saying? You know I put you onto the whip game, put you onto a lot of things about the card game. You got any questions, holla at me. Right now, you know what I'm saying? You in a nigga's kitchen. Hold on, just for the moment of silence for the brand new Italian tile. Yeah, they just put this down last night. Isn't this shit cool as hell, man? Pure Italian. Alright, fuck that shit. Anyway, okay, alright. So, I was at my nigga's crib, okay? And I was trying to tell the nigga if he could just do small things to his shit, like his kitchen and his bathroom, he'll have women everywhere, dropping vagina panties all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He thought I was bullshit. So I said, look, I'm gonna do a video of just something small like my refrigerator, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna show you that I'm real with the shit. Alright, hold on, one more thing. Y'all see this shit? It's a chrome garbage can. I ain't never seen no chrome garbage can. The shit's from Egypt and it flips over like this. Ain't that some cool shit? Alright, fuck that shit, fuck that shit. Okay, alright. So, if you have an assortment of drinks in your fridge, it's gonna open up the world. Women are gonna come over here, they're gonna be comfortable. I know it sounds silly, but I want y'all to feel me on this right now. Oh yeah, nigga made a pizza. Well, I was hungry. Okay, fuck that shit, fuck that shit. Okay, bang! Nah, I know a lot of y'all like, come on, man. Why you got nothing but drinks and shit? Why you ain't got no food? I'm gonna tell you why. See, when different women come over, different women like different things, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for the mature, this real talk, for the mature chick, you know, over 30, who still drinks juice, you hit her with the Mystic. They always get Mystics. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Then, the Snapples, that's for, like, the suburban chicks. You know, they come over here, they be like, oh my God, Chai City, like, do you have anything to drink? And then I'm like, yeah, Becky, I got fucking Snapples off. Oh my God, you have so many flavors. This is crazy. I don't even know which one to take. And I'll be like, man, just whatever you want to take, yo, you know what I'm saying? Now, the vitamin water, that's for like the chicks, you know what I'm saying, who stay in shape. You know, they might come over to your crib after they leave the gym, shit like that, you know what I'm saying? The Smirnoff Ices, you dig? That's for like the chicks who, you know, it's their first time coming over here. They want to get their drink on, but they don't know you well enough to get drunk around you. So they just get their buzz on with the Smirnoff Ice. Okay, now y'all already, now if you're a real nigga, I ain't gotta say. The Cherry Coke, that's for the hood chicks. Cause I got Flamin' Hots, and then I hit them with the Cherry Coke, they in. The Red Bull, that's really for me, I ain't gonna front. I'll be kind of tired in the morning. Then I hit them with the Hawaiian Punch, the Sierra Mist, the Pepsi. As you see, this shit goes all the way to the back. There's ain't no front shit. Exactly, I stay stocked with the shit. Arizona iced tea, really for the classy, bougie hood chick, you know. She too good for the Cherry Coke, so she drinks that. Right, okay. Then the Lipton, the green tea, man, that's for the holistic, you know, vegetarian, I don't eat meat, and and I'm real earthy type, you know, fucking Erykah Badu chicks, you know what I'm saying? And of course, niggas, for the hood chicks, damn, I got a drawer Kool-Aid, nigga, what flavor you want? You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn, you know, I might go with the, yeah, I'm gonna get the blue one, cause that's it. Okay, then we got water, again for the in-shape chicks, you know what I'm saying? We got the Perrier water for the fucking, you know, sedity chicks, more vitamin water shit. Now, hold on, one more thing. If you a real nigga though, real nigga. It's a crazy combination. You only got two, damn, we were throwing shit. You only got two things in your shit. Sweet Baby Ray's, nigga. Yeah, that shit, man, on point. And then, motherfucking ranch. I mean, if shit, niggas, we don't eat blue cheese. Black people don't eat blue cheese. We eat ranch. And hey, look, my dad was over here the other day. He thought I was playing. I can't believe it's not butter, man. This shit, you could drink this shit, man, and it ain't butter. It's like butter flavored, but it ain't butter. Shit is real fucking good, man. Real talk. Now, a lot of y'all saying, well, what about, you know, for the hold on, get money, get paid. Okay, alright, we cool. Now. Sometimes the women, they bring their kids over here, you know what I'm saying, be fucking me up, cause I'm trying to hit that ass, right? So you know what I did, nigga? Bam! Hit them little niggas with a freeze pop, that's right, nigga. So she bring a kid over here, and I said, well, you want a freeze pop, little nigga? Cause he just gonna cock block you anyway. Hit him with a motherfucking freeze pop, all type of flavors, we got like fucking 400 in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And if you like me, every once in a while, you might kick it with a big girl with a pretty face, but just a fat girl. Hit it with the pizzas, the motherfucking ice cream sandwiches. I got pretzels, Eggos, you know, hell, well, look, I got even more shit for them. Hold on. Then we open up this one. Bam! Snacks on snacks, nigga. 4, 7, 8, 9 different flavors of cereal. We got Pop-Tarts. Man, we got popcorn, toffee, wheat thins. Nigga, what you want? I told the big girl, baby, come on, get your snack on, baby. Feel comfortable. You know, you breathing heavy as hell. I know you hungry. You know, 7 different flavors of chips. Mo got chips in this month. I mean, damn. Now, sometimes, okay, if a girl bring her kid over to your spot, you know what I'm saying, you gotta throw him off. So that's why I'm gonna take y'all over here. Let me walk to the front room right quick. You gotta throw that little nigga off, okay? Cause he gonna cock block you cause he don't want you near his mom. So then you take the little 5-year-old kid, you say, look little nigga, which one you wanna play? You wanna play the PS3 or the Xbox? See, that's gonna fuck him up because he ain't used to having an option. Then you let him play on the big ass screen. You see I got the PS3 on right now. So, bam, again, just the PS3,
Crazy
Xbox. Or if you don't want to do that, let him just watch cable on the cable Comcast box. Let him do his motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's all good. Well, anyway, that's all I really want to put y'all niggas on to. Have your crib set up, man, to make the girl feel good. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, she gonna be making you feel good. You niggas already know. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get my motherfuckers cost like $5 for $1, okay? Thank you. Anyway, y'all know Shot City, man. Anyway, y'all know Shot City, man. Do your thing, get your whip game proper, get your crib together, and remember, get money, get paid. All right, I'm out of here.
Damn, I don't know he was making videos for this long.
Paris Catacombs lost footage. This footage of a man losing his way at over 300 feet below street level in the Paris Catacombs has deeply disturbed viewers since it emerged in the year 2000. The catacombs were originally used for limestone mining way back in the Roman era, but when cemeteries in Paris began to overflow in the late 18th century, the French government exhumed the bones and bodies from overcrowded cemeteries and buried them in the catacombs. Over time, the catacombs became a curiosity for locals and visitors looking to catch a glimpse of the more than 200 miles of tunnels that stored the remains of over 6 million people, and they were open to the public in 1809. Today, the catacombs are one of the most important tourist attractions in Paris, even though only about 1% of the network of tunnels is mapped and open to the public. Most of the tunnels are not structurally sound or safe enough for tourist activities, and it's actually illegal to access the unmapped parts of the catacombs. But this hasn't stopped hundreds of locals from exploring the seemingly endless network of underground tunnels. For several decades, French authorities have done everything in their power to cover the hidden entrances to the tunnels, but people keep finding manholes and secret access points throughout the city that lead to the off-limits areas of the catacombs. Although this footage was recorded in 1993, it wasn't released to the general public until the year 2000, when it was shown as a part of an episode on the ABC Family TV show Scariest Places on Earth. The episode features Francis Friedland, a French filmmaker who says he came across the mysterious tape when it was given to him by a catacomb explorer who found it in one of the tunnels. Disturbingly, in the episode it's mentioned that the man who recorded the point of view footage was never found or identified.
This video camera was found deep in the catacombs. It was picked up by a catacomb explorer, so the people who wandered down there. It was given to me, I looked at the tape, it's very bizarre. This person occasionally stops and he photographs bones, often in the shape of an arrow. These arrows point in a direction. Occasionally also, he stops to photograph roomfuls of bones, which means that he's very, very deep inside the catacombs. What happened to him?
We already have.
Some of the clips show rooms full of bones, arrows painted on the ground, and even a strange painting of a silhouette of a person on one of the walls.
So basically he's filming what he's seeing. Endless. Very deep inside the catacombs. Few shots. Other than their pictures of bones. Human bones. These were the poor Parisians who died over the last 1,000 years.
Kind of crazy.
At times you'll see there's signs, painted signs on the wall, which is not uncommon. People have been painting in the catacombs for centuries. So it is possible with these paintings that we may be able to retrace an itinerary to some extent.
Anuncio Inteligente. Back in 2019, a user named Raul made a disturbing post that would go on to be shared over 20,000 times and receive tens of thousands of likes and reactions. The post was originally made in Spanish, so you'll have to bear with me if the translation isn't perfect, but hopefully you'll get the main idea. The post was titled Anuncio Inteligente, which translates from Spanish to smart ad, and it read, "Something super strange just happened to me. I was watching YouTube videos on my smart TV when suddenly an ad appeared, as usually happens on YouTube. I was about to skip it when I suddenly saw this ad lasted more than 5 hours. I was really surprised and told my dad to come so he could see how long it lasted. I took a picture while I waited for my dad to arrive. The girl in the ad kept on talking, and when my dad arrived, she turned her gaze toward him. Even my dad jokingly said that she was watching him. My dad and I stood in front of the TV, the girl fell silent, and we felt like she was looking at both of us. We kept thinking it was impossible for her to see us. It wasn't a video call or anything like that, it was just a simple YouTube ad. It was simply impossible for her to see us. We laughed at how silly it all sounded. The girl kept on talking, but suddenly she got closer to the screen and we started to feel a bit scared and uncomfortable. My dad wanted to test if she was watching us, so he said the word Changa a few times, and that's when the unthinkable happened. The Asian girl said Changa. At that moment, we got scared and I looked for the remote to skip the ad. My dad and I decided that we were very tired. It had been a long and tiring day, but we still couldn't ignore what had happened, so we turned off the TV. My questions are, what the heck just happened? Do TVs have cameras? If so, then I think it's possible for them to watch you. And lastly, was YouTube hacked? This incident scared both my dad and me. If anyone has gone through something like this, I'd like to hear your story. This was mine. Although the original post has since been deleted, it's been reposted a few times by Mexican broadcasting networks on Facebook, which has allowed a few YouTubers and Redditors to keep the story alive for 5 years as of the uploading of this video. From the moment it was uploaded, the post received pretty much every kind of reaction you can imagine, from those who called Raul out for lying on the internet to get attention, to those who claimed they had been through something similar, and everything in between. As for whether the post was real or not, 5 years after the original upload, it's still anyone's guess. I mean, it's not uncommon for people to place 2 to 3 hour long ads on YouTube. As for how effective these ads are at converting viewers into buyers, I can't really say, but the fact remains that it's technically possible Raul really did see a 5 hour long YouTube ad back in 2019. One thing that many Reddit users were quick to point out, however, is that YouTube ads need to be uploaded in a specific format to be accepted and rolled out by the platform. And it goes without saying that a 5 hour long live call where the creator of the ad spies on the viewer and interacts with them would violate pretty much every single law and regulation out there. Still, that in itself is probably not enough information to officially label Raul's post as fake, as he was apparently not the only person who complained about this kind of thing happening to him that year. Through my research, I found several Redditors who pointed out that they had seen similar posts by other users on Reddit crop up sporadically in 2019, where people claimed they had been shown an unusually long ad that appeared to interact with them in real time. If the allegations are true, it's possible that what happened to Raul could have been a part of a massive hacking epidemic targeting smart TVs rather than YouTube itself, which the hacking of smart TVs isn't that uncommon.
Imagine if that happens to you, I would just...
It's actually not that hard for a hacker to gain access to your smart TV's microphone and camera through certain malware, which is why if you look deep enough online, you'll find literally hundreds of complaints by users who claimed they were spied on through their smart TVs. Disturbingly, some users have even mentioned that hackers have blackmailed them through their smart TV, threatening to expose private footage of them to the world if they don't comply with their demands. But coming back to this smart ad story, this also doesn't necessarily mean that the post was real, and to this day, hundreds of Redditors have assumed that Raul was probably just straight up lying for clicks and attention. Unfortunately, because the post and so many of the original comments have been deleted, we'll likely never know. Do what? Portishead is a trip-hop band from Bristol, UK that was formed back in the 90s. Some of their music videos on YouTube have gone pretty viral, with one of them even getting close to 40 million views since it was uploaded in 2016. But over the years, there's been one particular music video that's become the subject of a ton of speculation and drama on YouTube and Reddit, and probably not for the reasons you might think. The music video in question is for the song titled Only You, and at first glance, there's nothing too different than what you'd probably expect from a band of this genre. But if you scroll down far enough into the comments section, you'll find something a little strange. A user named DoWhat made thousands upon thousands of comments on this single video over several months starting in December 2018. Sometimes DoWhat would comment hundreds of times in a single day. What immediately comes off as weird is that most of the user's comments appear to be random, angry rants directed toward a particular person or group of people. Sometimes it even looks like he's having a long, drawn-out conversation with himself through a YouTube comment section. I can't include some of the comments because they get pretty explicit, but you can probably get the idea just by looking at a few of them. One of them reads, "Heaven, yeah sure, and yet you still left me here. Well, you won't be going back and I sure as hell won't take you there." Another one reads, "Nothing you say or have said means a damn thing when you spoiled evil demons live the way you do, period." At first, none of the comments seemed to make any sense, but after reading a lot of them, I realized there was a pattern. Although a lot of the angry rants are pretty vague, and a lot of them do what appears to be directing his or her anger toward the band and the music video itself, often claiming that the whole idea behind the songs and videos that made the band rich were stolen from Do-What, who allegedly ended up getting no credit at all. Again, I can't include those due to the language, but some have suggested that this is the main reason why the user chose this particular video to dump thousands and thousands of angry comments on. As you can probably guess, a lot of people have tried to interact with Do-What over the years, leading to some pretty disturbing conversations in which the commenter claims he's some sort of interdimensional being with the ability to speak to people on different timelines, or something like that. Even though most of his comments are pretty difficult to understand, in a few of them, Do-What has repeatedly claimed to be a female living in a homeless shelter and to be receiving messages from some sort of godlike creature who is guiding her to save humanity from this individually by a real person, which has made a lot of people suggest that the user might be suffering from a pretty severe mental illness, or was simply looking for attention online and willing to go to extreme lengths to get it. But for why, we don't know. Other people have speculated that the whole Do-What mess was perhaps the band Portishead's attempt to bring more attention to their music video through an alternate reality game or ARG, but because Do-What started posting comments on the video more than 3 years after it was uploaded, this is pretty unlikely. If this was an ARG, then it's brilliant because obviously it did its job. After posting threads upon threads of aggressive, rambling comments, Do-What's original account was taken down a few months later, but the comments section on Portishead's video didn't get any less strange after that. Shortly after Do-What went quiet, other accounts started cropping up and posting a ton of angry comments in the same tone and style as Do-What. But because most of them only posted 20 to 30 times in total, whereas Do-What usually posted a few dozen times a day, it's likely that these new accounts were just copycats trying to get attention. A couple of the newer accounts though, namely Tracy-PV5CL and MedWhatever5413 are suspected to belong to the original Do-What. Still, after so many years and so many comments, it's unlikely we'll find a solid answer to what the purpose of all this is. Sad Satan. In 2015, a channel by the name of Obscure Horror Corner uploaded a series of videos featuring a playthrough of a horror game called Sad Satan that up until Horror Corner channel. In the interview, the channel owner mentioned that he first came across the game when an anonymous user provided him with a download link, which had allegedly come from the dark web. Shortly after, the owner of the Obscure Horror Corner's YouTube channel provided the download link to the Sad Satan game in a Reddit thread. However, several Redditors immediately called him out for providing a fake link, after which he claimed he gave away a fake link because he didn't want to be responsible for the real game being played by anyone, as it supposedly contained some very violent, dark, illegal, and disturbing images. While this was all happening, an anonymous 4chan user claiming to be the guy who gave the original Sad Satan link to Obscure Horror Corner revealed what he claimed was the original download link on the post. Disturbingly, this version of the game was stuffed with illegal, graphic content, gruesome gore, and viruses that allegedly made people's computers behave oddly and eventually crash permanently. Unfortunately, many users fell into the trap and apparently messed up their computers beyond repair. After the two links were spread everywhere online, a lot of people were left wondering where the footage from Obscure Horror Corner's channel had even come from in the first place. The most widely accepted theory nowadays is that Obscure Horror Corner probably made the game himself to bring more attention to his channel, and that the 4chan user made a corrupted copy to distribute illegal graphic material and mess up people's computers for no reason. It goes without saying that the illegal images the 4chan user included in the corrupted version of the game could have easily come from the dark web, as they would quickly get taken down if they were posted anywhere on the surface web.
What kind of illegal images? They say.
If you're going to go searching around the internet for more information on this rabbit hole, all I can say is whatever you do not click on any download links on random online forums. Intelsat 708, February 15, 1996. Back in the 90s, an American company named Space Systems Loral built a state-of-the-art telecommunications satellite named Intelsat 708, which contained some pretty sophisticated and sensitive communications and encryption technology. After it was built, the satellite was transported to China to be launched in 1996. During the launch preparations, it was agreed between the US and Chinese governments that Intelsat 708 would be launched into orbit from the Xichang Satellite Launch Center using China's Long March 3B launch vehicle, which was one of the world's most powerful rockets back then. It was also agreed that the launch would be broadcast live in the US. Just a little before 3 a.m. on February 15, 1996, the satellite was launched, and what happened next was nothing short of a tragedy. Just 2 seconds after the launch, the satellite started veering horizontally, taking a completely different trajectory than it was supposed to. A few seconds later, the rocket crashed in a residential area where many of the launch center's employees and other civilians lived. Shockingly, the crash caused an explosion that was reported to be equivalent to around 50 tons of TNT. Immediately, the Chinese military and members of the Loral security team were deployed to the crash site, and this is where things started to get a little weird. According to eyewitnesses, the Chinese military roped off the area immediately and didn't allow any Americans to approach the site until much later. In the aftermath of the crash, official figures in Chinese newspapers alleged that despite the massive explosion, only 6 people had died and 57 had been wounded, claiming that the death toll had been pretty limited because most of the people had been evacuated from the area before the launch. Still, based on the sheer amount of destruction, this death toll has always seemed unlikely to the US government, which suspected the Chinese military of cleaning out the crash site to hide the true death toll and to recover the satellite's sensitive encryption and communications technology. After American members of the Loral security team were finally allowed to comb the crash site, many of them returned home complaining of bulging eyes and splitting headaches caused by the toxic fumes released by the explosion. Despite the large-scale impact of these events, it's one of the lesser-known tragedies, likely due to the massive cover-up by the Chinese government. One of the only recordings left of it was uploaded to YouTube by a user named Fred V and has received only around 170,000 views since 2019. In the video, you can see the crazy amount of destruction caused by the crash in the village of Maolin, with both American and Chinese voices narrating the damage. Strangely, at the end of the footage, the entire video takes a weird turn where you can see a clip of a woman who says her name is Janet Ship, and that in order to help her viewers prepare for their trip to China, she's going to ask a few simple multiple-choice questions.
Hello, my name is Janet Ship, and in order to prepare you for your trip to China, we would like you to take this simple multiple-choice quiz. Remember, there is only one correct answer for each question. Ready? Here we go. This is a picture of A, a creature found in nearby hills, B, dinner, C, a huge technician. These guys should score a point in horseshoes, A, in 30 to 40 minutes, B, when the blue high wants.
I searched pretty deep, but there doesn't seem to be any explanation online for the quiz at the end of the crash video. It's all just a really weird combination of clips. I mean, it's pretty jarring to have such a shocking video end with a woman asking weird questions with happy music in the background, and your guess is as good as mine as to what the last part of this video is even about. Unfortunately, the comments were turned off for this video, and not a lot of people know about it in the first place, so who knows if we'll ever find out why the video ends like that. 00390. 00390 is an extremely strange YouTube channel that's been up since 2015. Even the description in the channel's About section is a little unusual. The text is written in both English and Italian, and it reads, "Do not subscribe, you bother me. Do not offer me money for affiliation or visualization or other. I am not interested. At best, offer me some typical food of your country." Below this text, there's another phrase that translates roughly from Italian to, "I like cold girls, but alive." Despite the owner's efforts to scare away subscribers, 00390 has over 50,000 subs as of 2024, and that number is probably only going to keep growing if he continues to upload disturbing, attention-grabbing content as he has up until now. The videos on the channel range from strange experimental art videos to first-person footage of a cameraman following a woman on the street to disturbing images of women being held hostages while creepy audio plays in the background to gross cooking videos. Due to the creepy nature of so many of the uploaders' videos, many viewers have come together online to try to find an explanation for the channel, which has resulted in some pretty wild theories being spread all over the internet. According to one of the most popular ones, the channel's owner is a suspected serial kidnapper who drives around the street looking for potential victims, which would explain why there are dozens of videos on the channel where he appears to record women on the streets against their will, with some of them looking visibly frightened at the guy. Based on what I found, there isn't really a solid conclusion for the channel's meaning. It's possible that this is just the product of an artist expressing himself with some sort of ARG attempt, or that there's really something more disturbing going on. Whatever the case, if the guy isn't a kidnapper, he's not exactly helping his case by uploading videos like the ones he has up until now. Elliot Eastman was a 26-year-old man from Vermont, USA. He spent most of his early years in the tiny town of Heinsberg. Life there was calm and peaceful, but with a population of less than 600 residents, it was also quite boring. Elliot wanted to do something more with his life. So, with his love for nature and exploration in mind, he saved up some money and traveled to the Philippines near the end of 2023. He wanted to slowly make his way through the entire country and witness its beauty firsthand. But just a couple months into his trip, he met a local woman named Carisha Jayla. The two started dating and got married just a few months after that, in July of 2023. Then, in January 2024, Elliot started posting videos on YouTube documenting his life in the Philippines with his wife. His videos were simple, without any over-the-top music or crazy editing effects, but they felt authentic and real, allowing him to amass a small but dedicated fan base. Though his content took a massive shift in May 2024 when he decided to move to the beachside village his wife was from in the Cebuco municipality. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before this spiraled into the worst decision he'd ever make. You see, Cebuco is part of what's known as the Red Zone in the Philippines. Put simply, this is the most dangerous section of the country, especially for foreigners. Armed robberies, kidnappings, and even murders are not uncommon in this region, with over 40 Westerners going missing there in just the last decade. However, Elliot was well aware of this fact, as evident from his channel's description, which read, "I'm Elliot Eastman. I am 26 years old and I came to the Philippines about a year and a half ago, where I met the love of my life deep in the mountains of the Red Zone of the Philippines. I will be showing you my day-to-day life as the first and only foreigner to have ever lived here in Cebuco for a long period of time." He mentioned the danger in some of his video titles as well, but despite the threat to his life, he still wanted to build a life in Cebuco. So he rented an apartment and even built his own grocery shop near the beach, all while documenting the entirety of his journey on YouTube. Now, there were times when he felt threatened and had to hide from some locals to avoid getting in serious trouble. But despite the somewhat dire circumstances, Elliot was enjoying his time in Cebuco and slowly building the life he wanted. However, just when things were starting to look up for Elliot, tragedy struck. The incident took place on the night of October 17, 2024, when, after doing several short live streams throughout the day, Elliot went offline and sat for dinner with his wife and her parents. But then, a few minutes later, 4 men with guns barged into their home and started telling Elliot to go outside. These men were also wearing outfits similar to those of the Filipino police, likely in hopes of making Elliot more cooperative. Elliot, however, saw through their disguise and tried to run away. Unfortunately, that's when things went from bad to worse. One of them opened fire and ended up shooting Elliot twice, once in the leg and once in the abdomen. They then dragged him onto the speedboat they had docked near their home and sped off into the darkness. This was the last time anyone saw Elliot alive. By the time the police launched a search and rescue mission, the kidnapper's boat was nowhere to be found. The investigation then went on for nearly a month until the 12th of November. But when the police eventually located the kidnappers, they were forced into a shootout, resulting in 3 of the 4 culprits losing their lives. And while they did manage to arrest the last kidnapper, it was already too late. According to the kidnapper, Elliot succumbed to his injuries when he was on the speedboat. So the kidnappers simply threw his body overboard to hide the primary evidence of their crime. Unfortunately, the police were unable to locate his remains and pronounced him officially dead in December of 2024. However, one question still remained unanswered. Why? Why did these 4 criminals target Elliot? Well, the simplest explanation is also the most likely one. They just wanted to kidnap him for ransom. Carisha even had a first-hand experience with this, as back in high school, one of her Canadian classmates was kidnapped and held for a ransom of $50,000 US. That said, there's also a second potential explanation that has to do with Elliot's side business. You see, while operating his grocery store, Elliot also started lending the locals money for 20% interest. A local loan shark likely saw him as a competitor and sought to eliminate Elliot before he took away any more of his business. This would also explain why the intruders were so quick to open fire if they wanted to hold him for ransom. Regardless of their motive, the end result was the loss of a young man trying to make a life for himself with his wife in a foreign land. His YouTube channel now sits abandoned, with its many uploads remaining as proof as the life he once lived. Benjamin Pardoon, known online as Warner the Goobermeister, was a comedian creator on YouTube who primarily focused on creating a genre of memes known as YouTube poops, which is a subgenre of online humor that revolves around taking clips from other shows, usually cartoons, and editing them to have a bizarre, often nonsensical tone. Over time, Benjamin's channel had amassed over 8.7 million views, making him a well-known name in the YTP community. But after his upload on December 21st, 2021, he suddenly vanished from the internet, leaving his fans wondering what could have happened. Unfortunately, the reason for his disappearance was far more tragic than simply getting bored and moving on from the channel, as most of his audience had assumed. The incident took place on the 27th of January 2022, when his older brother Chris tried to contact him many times but didn't hear back. Left with no other option, Chris called the police at around 8 p.m. to check on his parents and little brother. When the officers arrived at his house, the lights were on, but no one was answering the door. After repeated knocks, the officers knew something was off, so they decided to break in. But nothing could have prepared them for the horrific scene they saw behind that door. Inside, they found the bodies of Benjamin and his parents, all with visible gunshot wounds. However, what looked like a robbery gone wrong turned out to be far more tragic. According to the investigation, both Benjamin and his mother Deborah were shot by his father that evening, who, after committing the crime, decided to end things for himself as well. The news of this incident was a massive shock for Benjamin's viewers, as he'd never mentioned any family troubles before. Chris later set up a GoFundMe page in November of 2022, which not only allowed Benjamin's fans to support the only living member of his family, it also gave some insight into what might have happened. According to Chris, Benjamin was born in 2005 and was soon diagnosed with autism. This made it difficult for him to interact with people in person. Because of this, he was homeschooled, and at just 8 years old, he started uploading on YouTube, hoping to make friends and find a sense of community. Sadly, Benjamin's condition was far from the only challenge their family had to face. Deborah was also suffering from nerve damage after an accident, and the father Gregory had also gotten in a car accident in the past and could barely walk. On top of that, the family was also struggling with severe financial issues, which could explain why Gregory felt the need to take such a drastic measure, seemingly out of nowhere. As Chris puts it, "My dad was a proud man. He was ashamed to ask or seek out help." Although Benjamin's content was somewhat niche, it left a big impact on those who came across it, with some even uploading new videos in his style to keep his memory alive. Harley Dilly was a YouTube channel run by a 14-year-old teenager from Ohio with the same name. He created the channel in 2013 to share his love of gaming, specifically the sports game Madden, with others. He also uploaded vlogs on YouTube, where he talked about anything that was on his mind that day. But for Harley himself, these were more than just videos. They were one of the many forms of escape he had from his troubled life. You see, Harley suffered from oppositional defiant disorder and was also diagnosed with high-functioning autism. This resulted in him getting into heated arguments with his parents quite often, and subsequently ending up in a worse situation. In one instance, he even posted a video talking about how he was locked out of the house after an argument with his mother, titled, "I'm Scared."
Hey guys, what's up? It is Harley Dilly.
Harley went missing when the event directly across from the Dilly residence. This was a Nicholas Sonderegger was a 28-year-old YouTuber who loved two things in life: longboarding and dancing. He uploaded nearly 80 videos of himself doing both of these on his channel named Sunspeak, though his ultimate dream was to become a professional dancer. By 2017, he was living in San Diego with his friend Austin to try and make his dream come true. However, the two were completely broke and couldn't afford California's high rent prices. So, with no other option, the two decided to live in tents or random trailers they could find in the Salton Sea area. Salton Sea used to be a popular tourist destination at one point due to its status as an oasis in the middle of the desert. But the water and the surrounding area became extremely toxic over time, turning it into a complete ghost town. On the flip side, this also made living there essentially free, which is what Nick and Austin were after. But what neither of them knew at the time was that the true danger of Salton Sea had nothing to do with its toxic climate. This danger came face to face with the two on the night of September 9th, 2018 at around 2 a.m. They were asleep in their tent when suddenly they were jolted awake by an extremely loud scream coming from the tree line not far from their camp. Fearing for their safety, they decided to just ignore it altogether and go back to sleep. Or that's at least what Austin thought. For some unknown reason, Nick later decided to go investigate the scream on his own after Austin had fallen back asleep. By the time Austin woke up the next morning, Nick was gone. He tried looking around for his longtime friend around town and discovered his flashlight lying on the ground just a block away from their tent. He immediately contacted the police and reported Nick as missing, who began looking for him almost immediately. But all they found was one of his boots, his pants, and his knife sleeve. His other boot, as well as his wallet and keys, were missing. More importantly, Nick himself was nowhere to be found. What made the situation even more bizarre was what happened days later. Austin returned to the same area he had already searched, but this time he found Nick's shirt and hat lying there, items that weren't there before. In other words, someone had likely placed them in that spot later. Sadly, the identity of this person was never uncovered, leaving Nick's case a complete mystery to this day. Nick's family has set up a website with all the information they have. They've also announced a $10,000 reward for any useful information. But despite these efforts, the case has remained cold. In fact, there are so few clues that I wasn't even able to find any solid theories either. Some have speculated that Austin might have killed Nick and hidden his body. However, the police investigation uncovered no evidence of foul play. There's still a chance that some unexpected discovery would crack this case wide open. But until then, Nick's disappearance remains an unsolved mystery, and his YouTube channel remains abandoned. Gas mask. On the 19th of September 2017, an anonymous 4chan user posted a picture of a gas mask, 2 bottles of vinegar, and a jug of bleach, captioned, "About to test out this gas mask." While some brushed it off, thinking that the OP was just messing around, a few showed genuine curiosity and egged on the OP to continue his experiment. Okay, post results if you live. However, this curiosity turned into concern when the OP returned with an update 20 minutes later, stating, "What could go wrong? We'll report." Alongside this, he posted a picture of the vinegar being poured into a mysterious yellow substance, which looked shockingly similar to concentrated chlorine gas. For those who don't know, chlorine gas is a deadly war chemical that was used by the German army during the First World War. More importantly, the only chemicals needed to synthesize this dangerous gas are bleach and vinegar, the exact materials OP had with him. The OP either didn't know about the gas or seriously underestimated its danger. Unfortunately, by the time he realized the gravity of his situation, it was already too late. Because just a few minutes later, he returned with a disturbing update. "Holy, it hurts. Might have to go to the hospital." This also included a picture that showed his arm developing blisters and turning an alarming shade of red. These symptoms matched perfectly with known signs of chlorine gas exposure, sparking immediate concern for the safety of OP and anyone in his vicinity.